Hi, everyone. Thanks for the opportunity to present here today. That was a perfect tee up for Nanodropper, a lot of buzz in the microvolume delivery space, and I'm super excited to continue that conversation. So I am Mackenzie Andrews, founder and chief commercial officer of Nanodropper. So back in 2018, I founded Nanodropper with my physician colleague after learning that despite having many treatment options available, glaucoma patients are continuing to lose their vision. This population still has a 25% lifetime risk of irreversible vision loss, with poor adherence being a primary attributing factor to poor outcomes. We all know that eye drops are not a perfect drug delivery system. However, they are still a critical tool for the management of glaucoma. So our team identified the two biggest barriers to eye drop treatment adherence. The first is early bottle exhaustion, with up to 83% of patients running out of their drops before they're due for their next refill. This often results in missed doses, as well as additional costs for patients. And second is side effects, with over 80% of patients reporting that they experience adverse events from their glaucoma medications. Our team saw these statistics as unacceptable for our patients, and in response, we designed a simple solution to address these primary treatment barriers. And today, I'm super excited to share with you our latest clinical data that is positioning Nanodropper as the new standard of care for optimized treatment outcomes for topical therapies. Our solution is smaller eye drops. We were pretty shocked to find that there is decades of clinical data predating our company demonstrating the microvolume delivery, aka smaller eye drops, maintain therapeutic efficacy while reducing side effects. We know that the eye can only absorb up to about 10 microliters of medication, and yet current eye drop bottles are still administering drop volumes that exceed that optimal volume by nearly 5 times. So to close that gap, we designed the Nanodropper adapter, a sterile medical device that simply twists onto the top of current eye drop bottles and reduces the droplet volume by over 60%. By making drops smaller, we're able to triple the number of drops per bottle, reducing gaps in treatment, and we now have clinical data to show that these smaller drops reduce both local and systemic side effects and can not only provide non-inferior, but actually superior efficacy to the current standard of care. Let's take a look at the data. So the first study that we did was with collaborators at University of Colorado, where we demonstrated that Nanodropper can significantly increase the number of drops per bottle across solutions, suspensions, and emulsions, with the bottles lasting on average about 3 times as long. Collaborators at UCSF demonstrated non-inferiority of Nanodropper-mediated microdrops for dilation of pediatric eyes, and we've replicated these results in adult eyes as well. Earlier this year, we published a study looking at the IOP-lowering efficacy of timolol administered by regular drops in orange and Nanodropper drops in blue. Over the 8-hour time window observed, there was no clinically significant difference in the IOP-lowering efficacy of drops administered with Nanodropper versus conventional drop volumes. Additionally, we measured heart rate in both groups, and patients administered drops with Nanodropper experienced less of a drop in heart rate, which is likely due to less systemic absorption of this topical beta blocker and potentially an improved safety profile. Most recently, we concluded our longitudinal glaucoma study where we challenged already stable glaucoma patients. These were folks that had been at their target pressure for at least 12 months prior to enrollment, and we challenged them with Nanodropper. And what we saw is that just by adding Nanodropper to their existing drops, in this study it was either latanoprost or timolol, patients using Nanodropper over 12 weeks experienced superior IOP control over those conventional drops. This was an additional 1.6 millimeter of mercury decrease in IOP, or a 9.6% difference from baseline, simply by adding Nanodropper to their existing bottle. And we think that this is most likely an effective adherence because these patients were 80% less likely to run out of their drops early and also reported a 67% reduction in local side effects with improved tolerability. Prior to this pivotal study, we knew that Nanodropper could extend bottle life, reduce treatment costs, while maintaining therapeutic efficacy. But seeing the result of superior efficacy with improved tolerability left us questioning just how profoundly this could impact clinical practice. To begin to answer this question, Dr. Constance Okeke, Virginia Eye Consultants, ran a pilot study with rocklatan, one of the Rho kinase inhibitors known well for its efficacy, but also its poor tolerability and high rates of conjunctival hyperemia. She took 4 of her patients who had previously responded well to rocklatan from a therapeutic perspective, but had discontinued the drug due to side effect severity. Her observation, when those patients tried the drug again with Nanodropper, was that 3 out of those 4 patients had such substantial improvement in hyperemia and discomfort that they were able to resume use of rocklatan, with, again, the only change being the addition of Nanodropper. We now have 2 full-scale non-inferiority studies that we are enrolling to further investigate the impact of Nanodropper with the Rho kinase inhibitors. And it is because of results like these that our device is rapidly becoming the new standard of care in the US. Since our product launch in 2020, we've been adopted by over 3,000 eye care clinics, where our device is used in office for diagnostic as well as perioperative drops, and is also dispensed to patients for home medications. And while I really focused on the glaucoma patient in this talk, our device is compatible with over 90% of preservative-containing drops on the market, extending its use case to dry eye, chronic steroid use, perioperative drops, pediatric myopia, and many others. And it is because of those reasons that institutions like Mayo Clinic, Bascom Palmer, and Johns Hopkins have adopted Nanodropper as their new standard of care. But we aren't done innovating. Earlier this year, we launched a much-awaited new adapter size that extends the number of bottles that we're compatible with, and next year we will be launching a complete device redesign that will make us universally compatible with every single preservative-containing bottle on the market. We also now have the capability to make custom OEM microvolume delivery tips for all new APIs in development, and if you're interested in that solution, please reach out. And we are really looking forward to announcing a product that will be compatible with preservative-free formulations next year. For all business development or strategic inquiries, please reach out to me. I also have a booth in the exhibit hall, and we also have an open investment round to support our growth, international expansion, and future product development. With that, I invite you to join us on our mission to reduce cost, increase access, and promote eye health, one drop at a time. Thank you so much.